tuned in to your dose of positivity. I am Marlene Motivates, and shout out to all my channel members. If you want to support this channel, you can do so by joining membership. I am.
You will survive. Just know it, just breathe it and be it, and live your best life.
Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing? It's Marlene of Marlene Motivates, your channel for inspiration, positivity, mindset shifting. And today we are going to be talking about some dating advice, which is very important because we're going to talk about why it's so important to not ignore the red flags that many of us do in the dating phase, and also not ignoring red flags that can also apply to friendships in the workspace. If there's something that we see that is not right with an individual, whoever they are, we need to pay attention to that, because we have to know that if we want to have a healthy, long-lasting relationship, we deserve to have every single thing that we want. So welcome into today's discussion. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. I love to have you over here as a part of the Motivators family, okay? So today, everybody, we're talking about, the dating advice. When I think about red flags that we see, right, when it comes to dating, red flags, what are some of the things that come up in your mind, in your brain, that is a red flag? I can think of many things, right? But it's very important for us to not ignore them. And a lot of the time we ignore the red flags for other reasons. And I want to speak on that for a moment. Not ignoring how we feel. That it's very important to be in tune with it, to be in tune with ourselves, to know and value ourselves, that we don't, number one, we don't have to settle. We deserve the best, okay? You deserve the best. And to not ignore something that we are feeling inside, because if we ignore things now, don't think that it's going to change, it's going to improve or whatever, okay? So when we see those things, we have to pay attention. Yes. So this is point number one. When you see something, when you hear something, or when you feel something is not right, let's not ignore it. So let's first start off by talking about the things that we see. And some of them could be, we see the movements. Sometimes when you just start off in a relationship, you see things and you be like, that's weird. Or they'll say, okay, I do this, and then it's not that what they do. So their words and their actions aren't leveling up. They're not balancing out. It's not right. So when you see something is not right about an individual, when you hear things, because you got to pay attention to those things too. Not everything, because let's just be honest, some people are out to sabotage us in our relationships, they don't want to make us happy, or also it could be somebody who actually wants to be with the person that you are dating. Pay attention to those, the phony friends, the phony relatives that are trying to come and sabotage your relationship. So be aware of that as well. So when you also hear things, pay attention to those things too. Pay attention to what you hear, okay? Have your ears wide open. What are the things that you hear about them? What is their reputation? How do they treat other people that they've known for a long time? It's a big indicator, because the way that somebody treats us, right? Treats us is going to be a representation of how they may be treating their own relatives, their own friends, their own parents. Pay attention. And if you feel something is not right about a person, right? We get those feelings, right? And it's whatever you want to call it, your conscience, your guts, your instinct, discernment, or maybe a combination of all of it. When we feel something is not right in the relationship, a person doesn't always have to do something wrong to us. You just can't put your finger on it, right? I know almost everybody probably has been in something like that in a relationship. It's just something not right about them, but you just don't know. But you have other people trying to push you and force you into saying, it's okay, they're a good man or they're a good woman. Or they will tell you vain things like, look, oh, they look good, girl, or they look good, from your homeboys, your friends, right? We hear, we see, and we feel something is not right about a person. So, yes, if I have not said it already, please like and share this out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hey, Miss Tracy, how are you doing? Welcome. Thank you so much. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Hey, East, how are you doing? Welcome. Hey, Tamika, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Yes. Hi, Only Zone. Welcome, guys. Appreciate you all being here. And of course, as always, if you have some tips, some golden nuggets you want to drop them down in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. So when we see, hear, or feel something is not right with a person, what is our first thing? We tell ourselves, no, that's not, I don't think it's that. Or we doubt ourselves and say, I think it's just me. Yeah, it's just me. I'm tripping. Most of the time when our spirit, when our gut, when our conscience tells us something, when the Holy Spirit tells me something, I take it as a warning, right? We get warned about individuals. Some people will tell us, be careful. I've heard this or this about a person, but it's dependent on the relationship you have with somebody. Are they somebody who would never lead you the wrong way? Or is that person a shifty person that you can't really trust? You have to really be careful about who you tell about your relationship, because that's a big indicator of the longevity of a healthy relationship. I have to say that to all you ladies and gentlemen, keep your personal business within you and the person that you're with. Don't tell everybody your business. And people will say, oh, yeah, they be on the phone. They'll tell their girlfriends. The guys will tell their friends. Everybody is telling everybody all the details about your private relationship. And that's not good, everybody. Hi, Miss Lynn. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I hope all is well with you all. It's not a good thing when you're in a relationship to be telling all your personal, all your private things about the person, where they work, what they do, what goes on in the bedroom, just every single thing about a person. That should be some private details within your relationship. And I know that some of you will agree. It's very important to keep some, personal things between you and a person. Now, I don't mean holding onto things that are toxic, things that, somebody puts their hands on you. There's certain things you don't keep inside. This is when you reach out for help. But I mean, having little tiffs between you and the person, some sort of disagreements. It's not good to go and to say, hey, this is going on between us. Because if and when you make up, then that other person now has to start having some things in their mind. Look, they'll start looking at the person that you're with some type of way, looking at them like, oh, that's how they treat this person. Not good. It's not good to do that. Hi, Miss Kim. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate your support. Thank you so much. It's so important to learn to zip your mouth, especially when you're just getting to know somebody. Make sure you know how you feel about a person before you go and start telling other people in your life about this person. You don't know if this is going to be longevity in this relationship. You don't know if it lasts. You don't even know how you feel about that person. So, ladies and gentlemen, learn to relax. Okay. Learn to keep your business to yourself. Learn to hold it in. Keep your business between the two of you and work out your own issues and your own problems together without getting advice from everybody else. Hi, James. How are you doing? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to all my mods and all my members. I really do appreciate you. And to all the supporters of this channel, thank you guys so much. So let's get into point number 2. Here's another red flag when you should run. Okay. Being in a relationship with somebody who lacks maturity. Lacking maturity is not something that is going to change. And I know that people will say, oh yeah, I'll wait. Just give me a little bit of time. We can't change a person to turn into be what we want. Either a person is who we want or they're not. Either it works or it doesn't work. But one thing we should not sit around and wait for is waiting for people to grow up. And though a person may be an adult and maybe in the age to date, but it doesn't mean that that person has that mental maturity. It has the emotional maturity, that they have spiritual maturity, that they have the maturity to deal with different situations with what is it called? Problem solving and things that is going on in your relationship. This is where you find out, is this somebody that I want to stay with? Is this someone I want to be with? Or is this just not going to work? Because we all know that in the dating phase, everybody puts on their best face. They're doing the most. They're doing all these things. They're showing up, trying to convince the person, like, we're going to be in a relationship together. So this is one of the things, everybody, if you are seeing a lack of maturity from somebody that you are just dating, don't do it, everybody. Do not do it. And we all have our certain things that rub us the wrong way when a person is immature. And for me, that the immaturity of, just talking over me when I'm talking, don't talk. That's one way to get me to run. But another thing is learning to respect the person. For me, a person that only wants their own agendas, a person who's very selfish, that's not a person that you can be in a relationship with. That's not somebody that is willing to grow because they personally have not grown up yet themselves. I'm good as well. Thank you so much, James. I really appreciate you always asking. Thank you. Yeah, it's a lack of maturity. And a lot of people are very immature, right? Very, very immature. And we don't have to take it. You don't have to take it. You don't have to wait. You don't have to listen to other people. That's one thing about when you are dating. It's so important to not let other people get into your relationship and tell you what you should do, or try to push you or hurry you to go faster in your relationship. Yeah, it's about time y'all get married. It's about time you have kids. You should do this. You should live here. You should get this. No, because at the end of the day, it's your bills. It's your life. it's your relationship. So if you see something in the relationship while dating that this person is lacking maturity, it's a red flag. Do not pursue the relationship any longer. It's time to leave them alone. It's the honest thing. Here's another red flag that we should not ignore. They don't respect you. They don't respect you, your body, your thoughts, your opinions, or your time. So some of the examples of that, like I said, talking over you, or if you have an opinion, they don't that is different from theirs, they get very angry, they get upset. And for me, that shows a lack of maturity too, because as adults, nobody is going to agree with every single thing, but they sometimes in the relationship there are people who have control issues, and they want you to always think the way they think, and if you don't think the way they think, it's not going to work. They try to always persuade you to think how they think, or they said that's not right and you're wrong, and they like to argue. Very disrespectful. They'll put you down. Another red flag is somebody who likes to raise their tone, raise their voice. They like to argue with you. All red flags, everybody. Red flag all over the place. And another red flag is they do not value your time. So they'll make arrangements maybe for going on a date somewhere, right? And they'll tell you, okay, yeah, we'll be let's meet up for 8 p.m. You get there, 8 p.m. passes, 8:15, 8:20, 8:30. Around 8:30, then they'll text you, oh, I'm running late. You're running late. This is when it is your time to leave, okay? Because that's not a good sign. A person who has poor time management, that's not a good thing, okay? Be aware of those things, because that shows in other areas. If a person cannot show up on time, if a person can't do certain things, it usually means that that person also lacks organization skills. They are not good at time management, and they're most likely not good with their money management. Okay. Let's go to the chats. Let's go to the chat. Love this advice, Marley. Thank you so much, Lynn. And I love to hear anything that you all have to add as well. Okay, so let's head on to point number 4. Okay, don't ignore these red flags. Okay, no financial responsibility, and this is such a big one, everybody. And why this is such a big one, they say, when we talk about marriages, they say that over 50% of marriages break up because of money problems, finances. Either they can't agree to how one is spending, or overspending, underspending, or whatever it is. So that person does not have financial responsibility, and that means that they don't plan for their money. They just will, when they get paid, they just blow out the money. They're not prepared. They don't know how to, play, okay, this time I'll pay the water bill, this time is the light bill, this time is the rent, and whatever. So a person who does not have financial responsibility, I can understand it, because that's something that we don't learn going through school. You learn that through adulthood and life, how to take care of your money. But when you meet somebody and they're always on the low, and this is a big thing. When you're dating somebody, don't give somebody else money. Don't starting a relationship off. Oh, could you pay my light bill? Could you pay my water bill? Could you give me $50 for gas? That's going to be a cycle of they want to be taken care of. And to me, I can't say for everybody, but to me, it sounds like you are not dating someone. It's like you have a child. They want to be taken care of, and that doesn't even up. That doesn't even out, and that's not a good thing. Thank you so much, Miss Tracy. I can't believe it. 6 months as a member. I really appreciate you being here as a member for 6 months. I don't think I had the song when you were a member 6 months ago, Miss Tracy. So because of that, I'm going to, hi, Nancy, how are you doing? Welcome. And because of that, I'm going to play the song for becoming a member. Thank you so much for your membership, Miss Tracy. Let me find it. Let me find the song. Boy, I have a lot of songs on here. Here it is. Thank you, Miss Tracy. Thank you, Miss Tracy. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, welcome aboard, Nancy. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're well. Welcome to the channel. All right. Let's hear this question from Miss Kim. Marlene Motivates. What are your thoughts on how some people never grow from immaturity? Or do you think that since we are all different, that it's just relative? Oh, what are my thoughts on how some people never grow from immaturity? It's really a combination of a lot of factors, I think, Miss Kim. Some people are immature because maybe in their childhood, um, they were coddled. They were coddled. They were not shown the way how to do certain things for themselves. And because they were taken care of from other people, maybe their parents, aunts and uncles, grandparents, so they never had to be grown because somebody always took care of them. And then the cycle follows that when they start looking to be in a relationship, they're also looking to be taken care of. And I understand that people come from different cultures and things are different in other cultures. But yeah, I do think it's so important for so many of us to be careful, to be wise about who we choose to be in a relationship with. I hope that answers your question, Miss Kim. I am good, Nancy. Thank you so much for being here. How do you know? I have a man I never meet. How do you know if a man is real or not? I have a man I never meet. I don't know. I think that's one of the reasons probably if you're online dating, that could be an obstacle that comes with, dating online. You really don't know if you're being catfished. You don't know if it's real. I just think that time will always tell, Nancy. That's what I would say. Time would tell, and it's important to make sure you're doing FaceTime and please, everybody, please don't send people money when you're dating. Don't do it. Like I always see all the time on Instagram and all of these other sites like Facebook, they're doing this dating over the internet. Be careful. So that's what I would say, Nancy. I hope that answers your question. Hey, Nate, how are you doing? Welcome. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Let me go back to my next question, my next point. No financial responsibility. Okay. Point number 5, everybody. Don't ignore the red flags. This is a big one. Failing to communicate. Now, that's going to be different with everybody. And I do understand that some people don't know how to communicate, right? Yeah. Some people don't. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know what to communicate. But it's very important during this time of dating for you to ask very important questions. Don't be afraid to ask, okay, what do you want from the future? Where do you see this relationship going? What are your short-term and long-term goals? How is your family dynamic growing up? How is your family dynamic now? Are you close to them? Are you know, like, how do you deal with stressful situations? It's really important to ask certain questions, and then also not just asking, because people can always give the answer that we want to hear, but also in paying attention and watching things, spending time together is where you really find out if it's a good fit and match for you, right? But if you have somebody and they fail to communicate with you, like you will call them, they don't call you back. Or they only call you at the last minute to get together. Hey, you want to go out tomorrow night? That's not a good sign. They should communicate with you ahead of time. Hey, let's make plans for us to get together on Friday or Saturday, and you know where it is something that you both agreed to going. Even simple things like checking in on you. How are you doing? You know, listen, pay attention to all those things and how they communicate too. When they communicate with you, is it kind? Is it angry? Are there some manipulation in, I called you, call me back right now? Whoa, be careful. We have to really pay attention when we are dating, because if somebody, they start off and they're already snapping off at us, what is going to happen later? It will increase and get worse. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Let's see. Thanks. That's a great point about their upbringing. Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Kim. I appreciate it. It helps. Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome, Nancy. Let's see what else. Who I miss? Oh, I got Miss Patty. How you doing, Miss Patty? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your support. I hope you're having an awesome Wednesday. But yeah, everybody, if you are in a relationship with somebody or you're just getting to know them, make sure that you guys have open communication, and it's not just you all the time, one-sided. How you're the one always have to ask, how are you doing? Is everything okay? How is it going at work? Blah, blah, blah. It has to be on both sides, right? You got to have somebody who doesn't mind thinking of you. You have to pay attention to all the signs of everything. Why does it always have to be me calling? Why does it always have to be me making arrangements? All of those are signs, and it shows who is the one really pursuing the relationship. Is it on both sides, or is it just from you? Okay, that's important. Point number 6. This is another red flag while dating, is there is no growth in the relationship. So if you've been dating 1 year and there hasn't been any progress, like if it's just a long distance relationship and it's always just phone calls, it's never anything like, when are we going to get together? When is the relationship going to improve? Even saying things like, you're my girlfriend, you're my boyfriend, whatever it is, there should be some personal growth, that you see the relationship growing. You see that this is something that somebody has decided to choose you. That's very important. You deserve to be chosen by somebody, and not to be a person, oh, you're just another option. Okay. When you don't see the growth in the relationship, like you tell somebody how you feel about something and they still continue to do what they want. Not that it's a one-sided thing, but a relationship is made up of, you each doing things to make the other feel special and important. That's how a healthy relationship goes. And if it's not that way, a lot of times that means that the relationship is very toxic. So you should be growing in the relationship. You should see certain things that they're doing, how they're working on themselves, all of those things. And if you see that there's no growth in the relationship, like you're still doing the same things, you're not, there's no, moving ahead in the relationship, like, okay, when we first met and we were talking, we met up once a week, now it's twice a week. Now maybe you moved in together or you got engaged. There should be some growth in the relationship along the way, and every relationship is going to be different based on your personal values, based on your spirituality, based on a lot of things. So yeah, it's going to be different for everybody because everybody wants different things, but you have to make sure that you're communicating, okay, what is next? What is happening? At a certain period of time in the relationship, you should probably be meeting key people, relatives, and all of those things, meeting friends. Yeah, that's a sign of a good and healthy relationship. But if you don't see any growth in the relationship, it's always just the same thing that you've always gotten. You're not growing in the relationship and they don't care to grow. They're just keeping you as an option to just hang out like a buddy. That's not a good thing. It really isn't. It's not a good thing to just be an option. A relationship should never feel like imprisonment. It should be pure and eternal lasting growth. It should be. It should be. But, we're talking about a healthy relationship, right? Everybody healthy, not a toxic one. A toxic one is there's lots of arguing, there's lots of manipulation, there's lots of resentment and arguing. There's not a lot of peace. You're with somebody who lacks self-control. No, 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 no. Leave that person alone. And I know that it's easier said than done, because when you like somebody, you have feelings for somebody, you kind of feel like you want to latch on and hold on, hoping that they'll change, that things will be different. But if you've been with somebody for a while, you're not getting the things that you want. The relationship is not growing. They're not communicating. It's better to let things go so that you can search for somebody else that will give you the things that you actually want and deserve. Yeah, you're right. Growth. Well, that's a dangerous thing, Nancy. If you haven't met somebody after 3 years, you have to question, why is it? That's what I would say. Big facts, right, Nate? Big facts. Miss Patty says, be careful of being used too. Some people just want what they can get. Men and women, users. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Miss Patty. The manipulation tactics, the control, want to control who you go around, what you talk about, what you spend your money on. Sometimes in a relationship that is very controlling and manipulative, if you are with a person who is like that, they don't want you to have your own life. They don't want you to have your own life. They want only your life should only be you and them. They don't want you to have friendships. They don't want you to have other people in your life. Your life is now just you and them, and that is toxic. Yes, it's so very toxic. Yes, don't block your blessings. Facts, Miss Patty. What is he saying? How could you? Red flag. East. Yeah, Nate. I knew you, East Dad. Thank you so much, Nancy. Appreciate you being here. Lynn, yes, very toxic. And we have to pay attention to that. And not like I'm saying it like it's easy to see, but we see things that we know does not feel right. When somebody is not acting right, raising their voice, controlling you. What are you doing? Who are you around? When are you getting home? Talking to you, like talking down to you, like they're talking to a young child and not a grown woman or a grown man. No, Mm-mm. That's immediate. Cut them off, block them. Don't answer their calls. Don't go to any meetups, nothing. No. Because if somebody is treating you like this right now while you're just dating them, imagine if you were living together. Imagine if you were married to the person, what would they do next? Because if somebody can't control their anger from the beginning of the relationship, if they get upset or angry, or especially if there's some sort of misunderstanding and the person never is going to apologize. That's one thing that I can't take is a person who does not have any accountability. That's like, you got to go. No accountability, you out of here. Yes, condescending, Miss Patty. That's the word. Condescending. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's only going to get worse, right? And it will. It's just terrible. I I don't know. I think because I was younger, because I was immature, a lot of things. When you lack the maturity, when you lack support, when you lack, you know, the ability to know when someone's playing games with you, when you lack the knowledge, the understanding, the wisdom, the discernment. mm, People can play you like a fiddle. I forget how the saying goes, but people know who to manipulate, just like a puppet on the string, right? People know. They know a person who doesn't know better. They know a person who has that low self-esteem. They know a person who does not respect themselves. So we are the ones that have to, before we are even dating somebody, we have to know our own self, everybody. You have to know what you want. You have to know the direction of your life. So if you are dating somebody and they're not going in the direction that you really know that you want to go to, it's not worth it. You're wasting your time, or they don't want that, or they don't like it. It's no, it just won't work. Some people try to keep it cool, but in the end, the real person comes out. Yes, it does, Miss Lynn. You know what I call that? I call that the mask. The mask finally coming off, right? And people actually do. People in the beginning of the relationship, you see them show up. You'll see the women, they show up, the best clothes, perfume, hair done, nails done, makeup, right? And the guys look very classy, sharp, looking clean, fresh haircut, this and that. Keep themselves looking together, keep their weight down, looking good, taking care of themselves. But eventually, right? The mask falls off. People get comfortable in the relationship, right? They get very comfortable. I can do what I want. And they say things like, I got them. That's not good. That's not good. You should always be seeking to date whoever you really care about, the person that you really love. That should never end. Yes, Nate. Facts, 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 facts. Hi, Miss Rachel. How are you doing? Welcome in. Happy Wednesday to you. If everybody could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. Yes, if you stay with a person and they don't want to become a better person, they can make you miserable with the disappointment. Yes, Miss Kim. Yes, yes, and yes. You don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who it's like you're a positive person, you're trying to do great things and whatever. And I understand that two people in a relationship are going to have varying opinions, aren't always going to get along. That's part of being in a relationship, but it should not be two people together that one person is a genuinely peaceful, happy person, and you have another person who's always complaining, always miserable, always blaming everybody. It's just not going to work, because if you are in a relationship with somebody who does not yet love themselves, or they do not yet know about accountability, about they haven't healed from their past, they're still carrying around their childhood trauma, they still are complaining about what their ex did to them, that's not a person that you want to be with, because you can't make a person heal. And unfortunately, some people hop from relationship to relationship thinking that that person is going to heal me from my past. That person, when I find the right person, I'm going to be in a good place in my life. That's not anybody else's job or responsibility to make us feel good about ourselves. We have to be our own friend. We have to love ourselves. We have to know what we want out of our life. We have to know where we're going and not look for that inside of a relationship. Thank you so much for your comment, Miss Kim. Lynn says, I think men or women prey on people with low self-esteem. They they definitely do, right, Miss Lynn? They really do. I always say that people know who to pick. They really do. They know a person who is down and depressed, and it's not hard to find out the people who are down and depressed. If you go to these dating sites, even people put on their Facebook, so people overshare too much information. They'll say like they're a widow, they recently lost this certain people, and people come in and they're looking for those vulnerable people, and they'll make up a whole storyline. Oh yeah, I also lost my spouse, and they probably have never been married. Or they'll say, make up a story like, oh yeah, my kid died, and you put on your profile that your child died. You know, it's one of those things like they're trying to trauma bond with you. And not all the time the things that people say to us in dating is true. What do they call it? They call those people a serial liar, a serial manipulator. Okay, so pay attention to that, and remember that if you're not okay mentally, like if you just got out of a bad relationship, it's very important when you get out of a bad relationship that you take some moments for yourself to ask yourself some questions. Why did I get out of this relationship? What did they do that I didn't like? And also, what did I do that I need to grow from and mature so that I can be better in the next relationship? These are some questions that we have to work on ourselves. It's not all up to who we date. It's about who are we? Am I a good person to be in a relationship with? What will I add? What will my value be to this individual that I'm with? We have to think about those things. Yes, Lynn. Yes, the mask will fall off. Don't they, Miss Kim? They will really tell you everything. And you know, I don't know why, but it's like you can just fall prey to somebody just because they look, if you are in a relationship with a woman, they appear, they have the beauty, they have the confidence, they have lots of things. But when the onion starts getting peeled back, when you really get in deep and find out who the person really is, you really don't see any layers. All they are is a person maybe who is vain, who only cares about their appearance, but they've never done any work on themselves. They've never worked on being mature. The same thing for as a man. They've never put anything into themselves. Like, yeah, they may be a person, they look good on the outside, but who are they inside? How do they cope with their life? Or do they go to substances to cope with their life? Are they a person, every problem they got to drink? Every problem they have to smoke? Every problem they don't know how to deal with things on their own? We have to pay attention to all of those things. Very important. Yes. Once they started, they said, I gotcha. Yes, that's true. Thank you so much, James. Really appreciate it. This is a great topic. I finally sat down. I can listen while I eat. Came out the bushes. Thank you so much, Miss Rachel. Appreciate it. I never heard of the term trauma bond. Yes, that's the perfect term for what those narcissistic users try to do to people. Yeah, I only found out about trauma bonding when I went to therapy because, okay, let me give you an example of trauma bonding. When people go to things like AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, or those who have problem with controlled substances, even those who, have broken relationship, so they bond over the brokenness of their ex. And you see people get together because they're trauma bonding, but you have to be careful with trauma bonding, because it can't just be you bond because of what happened to you. What is behind that? What is the reason why, certain things happen, certain issues? And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like to reveal things, flaws in my personality, things that I need to do to work on myself. It's not a comfortable thing, but as grown women and men, we have to be honest first with ourselves. We have to be able to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, you know what? You need to work on this and you need to work on that, so that you don't bring that negativity, that you don't bring that drama, you don't bring that aggravation and pain to the next person. It's not another person's job to fix us, to make us like ourselves, to make us love ourselves. That's our own personal job. And I see that, unfortunately, a lot of times working in the medical field, people who are trying to fulfill all of their hopes, their dreams, their happiness, and their joy. They put all of that onto the person they're in a relationship with. So if the person they're in a relationship is upset, angry, and mad, they are. They don't have any separation. They don't have their own life. They don't have their own feeling. How do I feel on my own as a woman? How do I feel on my own as a man? You need to ask yourself those questions. Who am I outside of the relationship? And if you don't know that, you don't know what you want and what you need when you're in a relationship. You got to know your own self and your own potential. So, yeah. Here is another one. Let's see. I just finished. Failed to communicate. No growth. Here is a big one. Big red flag. You're just not compatible. Just not compatible. There's no other way to say it but to just say that. Some people you're just not compatible with. You just don't fit. It's like somebody is the night and the other person is the day. One person only wants to be home and another person always wants to go out. Or two people who have opposing beliefs. One person is very aggressive and the other person is very docile. It's just, that doesn't work. Okay. So if you see certain things in the relationship, it's just not going to work. Or you see certain things that they're very controlling, they're very passive. That's not a good thing either. A person who just like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or they really don't care about much things. They just always let things go like, yeah, okay, whatever. That's not good for a relationship. Yeah. So there's certain things when we see red flags. It's the reason why I definitely wanted to have this discussion with all of you motivators, because when you see something as a red flag, when you see somebody is just not compatible, a person does things all the time and it irks you. I don't know what it is. It's like there's certain people that they get under your skin and you just like, oh, you just drive me crazy and you want to argue with them all the time. That's not a good thing. You should be in a relationship with somebody that you're able to have conversations calmly, not yelling, not when you disagree about something. This is what I will say. When you disagree about something, this is the time where you find out that if this is somebody you want to be with. If you can disagree with each other and there's no meanness attached to it, they're not putting you down because of it, or talking about you, or bringing up something about the past, that's somebody that you can grow with and build with. But if you have somebody and they're always putting you down, making fun of you, making you feel uncomfortable, yeah, when you're not compatible, you're not compatible. That won't change. Let's see what I missed in the comment section. Let's see what I missed. Let's see what Miss Rachel has to say. I was told while I was growing up, if they stop looking for love in due time, the right one will come. come without you knowing it. Sometimes that person underneath our nose, and we're looking for love in in the wrong places. Yeah, I'm sure, Rachel, you know, one of the things that I've learned is when I was younger, it was just about how a person looks. You're just like, oh, look at them, they look good, or they're so good looking, or whatever. But what is underneath that? Yes, a person can look good, but what is their intellectual level? Where are they going in their life? What do they want? What do they do? How do they talk? How do they treat people? Are they a respectful person? Are they kind? There has to be some layers. So we have to get past the just, oh, look at their body. Look at this. Look at that. Look at the job that they have, the money they have. It's more than just those outside things. It's the person, secret person of the heart. Are they in here? Who are they in here? How are they connected spiritually? Hey Shay, how are you doing? Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your support. A happy Wednesday to you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Marlene motivates. I understand. One of my closest friends who volunteers for hospital ministry has to be careful about the trauma bonding because people who she prays for wants to connect with her. Yeah, you have to be very careful about who you keep in your circle. You really do. You really do. And that's why it's so important to pay attention to the things that we see, right? Yes. People see the red flags and think they had Six Flags. Yeah, it's like you see things, but you're like, oh, it will get better. Or they said they're working on it. So then you believe in it until the next time. Yeah, it's true, Miss Kim. Oh, thank you so much, Shay. Appreciate the super sticker. You know what I got to do? It's the panda time for the panda to come out. And let me play that song when the super chat hits. Thank you so much, Shayla. Thank you, Shay. I really appreciate it. See. Yes, yes, yes. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, it's a panda. Panda be getting down. Let's get back to what I was saying. Okay, we just finished. They're not compatible for you. This is a big one that I would say don't ignore this red flag. They're always too busy for you. Now, we all know, everybody, man and women, we all have lives. We all have responsibilities. We all are dealing with things. But if a person can't make time for you, they're, oh yeah, I got to work. Okay. Just about everybody else does too. If a person can't make time for you, it kind of shows the level of how important you are to them. And it doesn't have to be long periods of time. You can't take 2 minutes out of your day to make a phone call or to send a text or to make time for date nights or quality time for certain conversations. And I will say this, that people will say they are too busy, but guess what? You make time for the things that are important to you. If something is important to you, if someone is important to you, if you actually care about somebody, you will make the time. You will push other things that is not that important to the background and say, I have to do this. I have to spend this time, right? So if somebody is always too busy for you, that's an indicator of something is not right. So nobody should ever be too busy for you. Nobody. You deserve to have somebody to spend time with you and make you a priority. You, and you, every single one of you should be a priority, whether you are dating a person or you're married to somebody. You should always be a priority to the person that loves you. Okay. If they love you and they say they care about you, I always say, prove it. Prove it. Show it by your actions and not just by your words. Prove it. Prove it. Yep, the panda. Yes, Shay, it is. It's facts. Show it by your actions. Show it, not, don't just say it, because it's easy to say things out of your mouth. Because I know I've fallen victim to it many a times, to just say, oh yeah, I'm going to, and then I never do. So I'm learning to stop talking about what I'm going to do and just prove it. Prove it. If a person is important to you, if a person is a priority, prove it. What are you going to do? That is the question. That's the question. Show the person how much you really do care about them. Now, here is, I think I have one more point after this. So point number 9, don't ignore the red flags. And this is one, a person who blames you for everything that goes wrong in the relationship, they blame you for it. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. If you didn't do this, if they didn't do that. They never accept any accountability for their wrong. They never say they're sorry. They don't make any changes. Just not a mature individual. And that's not somebody that you should be looking for to stay in a relationship with. So if you get blamed for everything, and a lot of times it's some yelling involved, it's some berating, it's some drama, it's some angry words that are said that maybe hurt your feelings, disappoint you, that's very disrespectful. Yeah, it's not your job to make a person grow up. It's not your job to, tell people how they should act, the things that they should do as a grown up, as an adult, as a grown woman, as a grown man. You should know. We all should know right from wrong. And when we do something to somebody, especially somebody that we care about, take ownership of that. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for what I said. But the issue is when a person is toxic, okay? When a person is not mature, they're very selfish, they're only out for themselves, they will never say they're sorry, ever. They can't. They won't. Because unfortunately, some people have some mental issues, right? They're not mentally stable, and you can't change them. No matter how kind you are, no matter how patient you are. And listen, because I tried to, well, I'll be kinder to them. I'll spend more time with them. We feel that if we kind of adjust and we're more patient and we're more kind, then that will change them and make them love us more and give us what we actually deserve. And it never goes that way. All usually happens is we get more pain, more aggravation, more frustration, more sadness. Yeah, no. If somebody blames you for everything and never takes accountability, red flag, leave them alone. Let me see what's this in the comment section. Okay, everybody, on the last point here. Point number 10. They don't get along with their family, and I'm not saying that that's always the case and it's always right, but some people you should be able to get along with at least one, maybe two people in your family. You're very blessed. You're very blessed if you're able to get along with more than two people of your relatives. But if you don't get along with anybody, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. If everybody always does wrong, everybody, your parents, your uncles, your cousins, your siblings, everybody is not right. I don't know. Something doesn't seem right about that. So you got to pay attention to those things. If a person has probably been blackballed by their relative, what is the reason why? Why don't you get along with them? And you got to get to the reason why. Why don't you get along with them? Is it because something you've done, or is it because they have mental illness, or what is it? And that's a different scenario if they have issues and problems. So that's why they don't get along with them. But if for the most part, you should have a few people that you get along amongst your relative, and it's important. I will say that while you are dating somebody, you should get to know the family. Pay attention. How do they talk to their family members? How do they treat them? Are they respectful of them? Are they kind to them? Because it's most likely a reflection of the treatment that you get. So if they're ignoring their own family, if they're yelling and screaming, cussing them out, what do you think you're going to get? You just came around. You just met them. So we got to pay attention to those things and keep our eyes open, because I feel that it's so important to have these sort of conversations. I'm going to put the invite link. I don't know if Shay wants to come up, or Miss Kim. You guys are welcome if you're available. If not, I'll get up out of here. Okay. Yeah, you have to teach a person how to treat you. It's important to demand respect for yourself. Don't wait for others to say how wrong they are. You have to advocate for yourself. You really do. You really do, Miss Kim. Thank you so much for this point, because we train people every day. Okay, we show people how much we care about ourselves, the way we want to be talked to. How do we treat ourselves? Or do we just not treat ourselves good? Or do we allow other people to treat us badly so they see, oh, look, they're a doormat. They'll let me do whatever I want. They'll never speak up for themselves. They ignore themselves. They don't take care of themselves. They pay attention to all those things. So, self-love is the key. We are the ones that first have to love ourselves before we can find the right persons in dating. So, I don't see anybody hit the link to come up. So I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you guys and your support. So I just wanted to say in the final words, don't ignore the red flags. Okay. It's all good. Miss Kim, it's all good. Thank you so much for your support in the comment section. Shout out to all my mods and my members. I really do appreciate you guys. Yeah, don't ignore the red flags. If you see somebody is doing something, talking sideways to you out of one side of their mouth, then nice to you another, or or they're doing something, putting you down, talking about you, they try to embarrass you, they make you feel less than, they never they're always saying things like you can't do things right, or you're stupid and things like that. Don't ignore those red flags. Those are very toxic behaviors, and you deserve so much better. Each and every one of you, to all the ladies, to all the gentlemen, respect yourself. It's up to us. It's up to us to love ourselves, to treat ourselves well, and all of those things. Hi, Wellness. How are you doing? Happy Wednesday to you. Just about to get up out of here. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you're having a great Wednesday as well. And you know what I always say over here on Marlene Motivates? Just know it. Just breathe it and be it and live your best life. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Don't ignore the red flags and take care of yourself, because you deserve to be in a healthy and happy relationship. See you guys on the next one. And to my replay gang, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Bye, guys.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you?